Okay, this is the second part of chapter 26. 1/2 hour to go. Turtle was so close to winning she could feel it, taste it, but still the answer eluded her. Ladies and gentlemen, who was Sam Westing? She began. He was poor Windy Windclopple, the son of immigrants. He was rich, Sam Westing, the head of a huge paper company. He was a happy man who played games. He was a sad man whose daughter killed herself. He was a lonely man who moved to a faraway island. He was a sick man who returned home to see his friends and relatives before he died. And he did die, but not when we thought he did. Sam Westing was still alive when the will was read. The judge rapped for order. Turtle continued. The obituary, probably phoned into the newspaper by Westing himself, mentioned 2 interesting facts. 1. Sam Westing was never seen after his car crashed. 2. Sam Westing acted in 4th of July pageants, fooling everybody with his clever disguises. Therefore, I submit that Sam Westing was not only alive, Sam Westing was disguised as one of his own heirs. No one would recognize him. With a face bashed in from the car crash, his disguise could be simple. A baggy uniform, a chipped front tooth, broken eyeglasses. Sandy? Does she mean Sandy? The judge had pounded her gavel several times. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Turtle went on, Sam Westing was none other than our dear friend Sandy, the doorman. But Sam Westing did not drink, you say? Neither did Sandy. I used his flask on Halloween, and there was a funny aftertaste in my pop, but not one of whiskey. I know how whiskey tastes because I use it for toothaches. It was medicine. Sandy was a sick man, and the flask was part of his disguise, but it also contained the medicine that kept him alive. Turtle surveyed the stupefied audience. Good. They bought her little fib. As I said earlier, I saw Crow fill the flask with lemon juice in the kitchen, but I saw something even more interesting on my way back to the game room. I saw Sandy coming out of the library. Sam Westing, as Sandy, wrote the last part of the will after the answers were given, then locked it in the library desk with a duplicate key. But what about the murder, you ask? Turtle said, even though no one had asked. There was no murder. The word murder was first mentioned by Sandy to put us off track. I did not die of natural causes, the will says. My life was taken from me by one of you. Sam Westing's life was taken from him when he became Sandy McSuthers, and Sandy died when his medicine ran out. Turtle paused in a pretense of letting the airs mull over her last words, trying to figure out what to do next. Why did Turtle leave out Barney Northrop, the judge wondered. She knows Northrop and McSuthers were the same man because of the bruised shin. Either she doesn't want to confound the jury, or she has no more idea than I have why Sam Westing had to play 2 roles. Why did Sam Westing have to play 2 roles? Turtle wondered. He had a big enough part as the doorman without having to playing the real estate man as well. Why 2 roles? No, not 2, 3. Windy Windclopple took 3 names. 1, Samuel W. Westing. 2, Barney Northrop. 3, Sandy McSuthers. The judge had a question. Surely Mr. McSuthers could have had his prescription refilled. Or are you implying he committed suicide? Pardon me? Turtle was searching the will. The estate who is at the crossroads, the heir who wins the windfall, will be the one who finds the 4th. That's it! That has to be it! The heir who wins the windfall will be the one who finds the 4th. Windy Windclopple took 4 names, and she knew who the 4th was. Keep calm, Turtle, Alice, Tabitha Ruth Wexler. Slowly, very slowly, and turn toward the judge. Act dumb, and ask her to repeat the question. I'm sorry, Your Honor. Would you repeat the question? Turtle knows something. The judge had seen that expression before. Sam Westing used to look like that just before he won a game. I asked if you consider Sandy's death a suicide. No, ma'am, Turtle said very sadly, very sadly. Sandy McSuthers, Sam Westing suffered terribly from a fatal disease. He was a dying man who chose his time to die. Let me read from the will. 6th, before you proceed to the game room, there will be 1 minute of silent prayer for your good old Uncle Sam. Ladies and gentlemen, heirs, for we all inherited something, Let us bow our heads in silent prayer for our benefactor, Sam Westing, alias the doorman. Sandy the doorman. Crow! Otis Amber leaped to his feet as Ed Plum led the cleaning woman through the door. That's where chapter 26 ends.